Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Joyride. Alright, it came out, for some reason I added it to my wish list, and it just came out streaming, right? Like when it came out in the movies or whatever, I added it, and I was like, like I do just about everything. Now it's out on streaming, I'm like, oh cool, Joyride. And I looked at it, and I'm like, I don't know if this is my demographic. Like, just what I see, it follows a bunch of Asian American friends, which I assume to be younger, obviously younger than me, because who isn't? You know, and they bond and discover the truth about what it means to know and love and who you are and travel, and they're going through China. And it seems like more of like a coming of age tale, more like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or whatever that was. That's what it seems like to me, just with, you know, Asian Americans. I never watched that movie because I don't think that's my demographic, the sweaty pants movie. But it was on my list, and I was like, oh. I've not watched it yet because I don't think it's my demographic, and for some reason I'm scrolling through and I find out it was written or directed, or it's the same people who did Neighbors, Seth Rogen, and oh man, I'm blanking on my man's name, you know who I mean, obviously, and then Crazy Rich Asians, you know, so it's like those same directors, writers, producers, whatever. And I'm still blanking on my man's name. I'm so disappointed. He'll be so mad at me. Like, we're friends. Anyway, so now I'm like, oh, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? It could be fantastic. It's 6.7 on IMDb. 7,730 people rated so far. So I don't recognize anybody in it. Well, Ashley Park is in it. That I recognize. Other than that, right now, nobody else. And I'm not going to keep scrolling. I'm sure I'll realize who they are when I go through it. An hour and 35 minutes long, so man, it's killing me that I can't put his name. I mean, High School Musical, I mean, Baywatch, I mean, Neighbors. Well, I said Neighbors, that's where we started. I mean, he's in everything. He's great, and he's one of my favorite guys. Man, it's, oh my goodness, man. Normally I can't, well yeah, you know this happens all the time. Anyway, I don't want to end this without saying, but anyway, stick around. I'll think of his name. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. And I'm not looking it up. So stick around if you want to see if I figure it out by about halfway through this movie, because I will do a check-in just for that. Alright, stick around. Honest to goodness, I didn't even start the movie. I was going up the steps to get my tea out of the microwave. That's just so my process. I do my opening. I start my microwavable water. Cinnamon, honey, and lime. By the way, it's on my channel somewhere here, how you make it. Anyway, going up the steps, I remember Zac Efron. So it only took me 4 steps. Didn't start the movie yet, so if you don't feel like sticking around, it won't matter. But I'll let you know how the movie is. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Joyride, and I am very pleasantly surprised. It is more my demographic. It's not, I mean, the girls are, what are they, 29-ish, 30, you know, late 20s, early 30s kind of situation. Just watch, see if there's any outtakes or anything. I think we're clean to go. You know, and I'll also say this, it's surprisingly or unexpectedly raunchy. Like, I did not expect that at all. Like I said, I thought it was the younger girls and just, you know, whatever. But it's not. So, you can end that debate right now. It's about 4 girls. 2 of them were like best friends. They are Asian. And they meet as young kids. They grow older. And this is not an untold story. We've seen this before, but right. So one becomes very successful. The other one not so much. It's more of, you know, free, if you will. And the other one's more straight and narrow and a lawyer, and the other one's just loving life, right? And so they have to go over to China for the lawyer's big, you know, a deal, to make a big deal, to close some sort of deal. And so they go over there, and then there's 2 other people who join them. One who lives over there, a cousin, you know, who all plays different types of characters. The one that they meet is an actress. The other one is kind of like a big fan of BTS. Is probably the best way to describe that. But very funny. That one's, Deadeye was that character's name, which I enjoyed. I liked that character. But so so it's the four of them. They go over to China. And just as you can imagine, I'm not going to ruin the movie, but, you think, hey, they go over there to have this big business meeting, and as you can imagine, things might not go the way they want. The friendship starts to strain, and then, what happens? Are they going to be friends again? That whole story. This is just in American or Chinese instead of just regular American, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So it's a different story. So it's all about, again, the laughs and the situations, which I did. I thought there was a lot of good, funny parts, and because it's all, and I like it, but it's all female, right? So very strong female leads, and so it's like Road Trip meets This Is the End in a sense, but the female version. It's what I kind of got out of it. Which made it fun. So that's a new twist. I'm thinking the female version, the Asian version, so they took and Seth Rogen was a producer on it, so that makes a lot of sense with Neighbors and all that fun stuff. So you can see that all intertwined into this. It's just different. It's the same, but it's different because, like I said, it's these other kinds of movies. Where friends, they are great, and then things bad happen, and then do they come back together? One's successful, one's not, right? And then it's all the raunchy road trip, This Is the End, Neighbors kind of humor, but with Asian Americans and females. That's what you get. So if you enjoy that stuff, if you enjoy all those other movies that I kind of related to and all that plot line and stuff, plot line doesn't really matter, all that other stuff, you'll enjoy this. It's a fresh take, I guess, in a sense. A fresh take on a stale story. I just made that up. But I know I'm saying a lot of stuff, but it really, I thought, was surprisingly good, thinking I was going to watch the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants kind of movie, and that's not what I got. So there you go. Oh, and that's the other thing real quick, because the credits are rolling and I remember this. When I first started the movie, I start the movie, then I pause it, go make my tea. You guys know that. Think of Zac Efron. Ants Marching was playing, Dave Matthews. And I was like, oh, great song. It's going to be a really good soundtrack. I didn't really pick up on the rest of the soundtrack. I'm looking for other songs. I think some of them were in Chinese, some of them as they were traveling over there. But anyway, whatever. I don't know why. But Ants Marching got me excited for the movie. There you go. That's it. I've rambled on enough. Hopefully I was helpful. If you're apprehensive of watching this movie because you thought it wasn't in your demographic or it wasn't going to be that, no, I hopefully cleared that up for you, if nothing else. And I remembered Zac Efron was in Neighbors and all those other movies, and I did it without Googling. The end. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.